All right, gonna give it a second. Hey everybody, Justin here with you again for another Friday Take 5. So if you're not familiar, this is where I go into our safe and I grab 5 of what I think or what I thought were the most interesting and exciting pieces that came into EWC this week. So I went ahead and I found 5 really cool, really interesting pieces. Hopefully you guys agree. Got a little bit of a funky variety here, different price points, different brands. So let's jump right in, and I'm going to go ahead and start with this gorgeous Laurent Ferrier. So this is the Laurent Ferrier Sport Auto. This gives you a 41.5 millimeter titanium cushion tonneau shaped case. You also get a full titanium bracelet on this one. Try and show it off here on the cam. And you have this really nice blue gradient dial, which you can kind of see. Anyways, it's got a really, really nice color to it. And then it also has white gold dagger indices, some really sharp looking white gold hands. And then this has, super luminova, but it's got like a really nice light green color to it. So it kind of all works together, that gradient blue, that light green lume. And then it has this really interesting kind of sloped date window over at 3 o'clock there, which I'm going to go ahead and try and show it in the wrist cam. So you have this like white crosshair on the dial, and then it also outlines the date window, and it's tough to show, but it's got this interesting sloped kind of nature to it. So you get a lot of depth from this dial. As with kind of most Ferriers, you have this really nice, hard to show on a bracelet, but really nice micro rotor movement. See if I can get it. Yeah, I can kind of see it. But suffice it to say, Ferrier's signature micro rotor movement. So this is a really cool watch. I kind of think of it as an interesting alternative to kind of your more run-of-the-mill integrated bracelet sport watches, like my AP over here. But I've been sorely tempted by this pretty much every single time it comes in, and this is no exception. I really love this watch. Moving right along, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about one of my other favorites. Of course, it's not a video with me if I don't talk about some Cartier. So this right here is the new Cartier Tank Chinois. So kind of like what Cartier's been doing with their Privé collection, over the past several years. Every year they pick another piece from their back catalog and they go ahead and re-release it. This past year, I think it was this past year, was the Tank Chinois. This is a really special, I don't know if they call it a limited edition or just a special edition. It's not numbered, but this was a special edition made specifically for the Chinese market. So it's the standard new Tank Chinois with some little tweaks that I think add up to make it really special. So I'm going to go ahead and try and get nice and close here. But as you can see, this has some really cool red lacquer stripes up at the top and bottom of the case there. On the standard one, those are just regular gold case material. And then if I get even closer, you can see that the dial is painted red to match those red lacquer strips. So you have red Roman numerals, red minute track, and then you actually get, instead of the more traditional cabochon, the crown is inlaid with red lacquer as well. So this, like I said, special Tank Chinois made specifically for the Chinese market, and it's some pretty subtle tweaks that, again, add up to make a really, really big impact. But that's a really nice piece as well. Actually, why don't I show it off on the wrist? I got a wrist cam. Let's see how it looks. The strap is super stiff, so I don't know if it's going to really work, but there you go. Really, really cool piece. I'm a big fan of this as well. Moving on to my notes here. Next up, something a little funky. This is an Omega Speedmaster. It's a Speedmaster Auto, and it has kind of what is known as an exotic dial. So this is the reduced case size Speedmaster. I think it's 39 millimeters. And you might be familiar with this look because this is actually the model that the Hodinkee 10th anniversary limited edition was based on, that came out a few years ago. So, you know, you get a, let's see if I can get nice and close here. So in addition to the time and the chrono, you also get the day and month and date. You can see up in that subdial up at 12 o'clock, you get the day of the week and the month. And then the date is actually indicated, you know, all the way around the dial. And then you've got that, if you can see it, got that yellow kind of like airplane shaped indicator hand for the date. So it's just kind of an interesting, funky alternative to, you know, your standard Speedmaster. I actually owned one of these years ago, and I loved it. It's, again, the smaller case size, you know, works well on my wrist. It's got kind of an, you know, an older style Speedmaster bracelet, you know, with the integrated fold-over deployant clasp and everything. So this is a really cool one. Reference 3520.53.00. Again, just a funky, interesting alternative to, you know, your standard Speedmaster. Next up, going Lange. We have got this gorgeous zeitwerk. So this is, you know, your standard zeitwerk, you know, standard 41.9 millimeter case. But this one obviously is cased in rose gold as opposed to, you know, the white metal that you usually see it in. So rose gold, black dial. And I don't know, I hadn't really handled one of these or played around with it, and it's so nice. I really love the zeitwerk. You know, I've talked about it in the past. I'm a sucker for a good story, and I love the history of the zeitwerk. You know, what Lange, what inspired it. You know, if you're not familiar, back in, I think it was the early 1800s, you know, the original Lange company, corporation, whatever it was, manufacturer, they actually were commissioned to create a 5-minute digital clock for the Semper Opera House in Dresden. And, you know, if you go ahead and you look up a photo of it, the layout is exactly what you see here on the zeitwerk dial. So, you know, you have the hours over on the left-hand side, the minutes at the 3 o'clock position, and then it was a digital jumping 5-minute clock. So obviously, Lange, modern Lange, took that as the inspiration for the zeitwerk and went ahead and created this gorgeous beast. So I'm going to go ahead and advance the time because it's so satisfying. Winding it also is like the best, most mechanical, notchy kind of feedback. It's awesome. But these are just such great watches. I really wish that my wrists were bigger because I just don't have the real estate to comfortably pull this off, and I'm super jealous of anybody that does. This also has the updated movement that people, for some reason, are obsessed with. The old one, the original movement in the zeitwerk, it kind of preloaded the minute and the hour, so you kind of had, it was like a little bit of like a two-step process for it to kick over. And this new one has the instant changeover. The dead giveaway, see if I can show it, is that almost like anchor-looking kind of, there you go, over at what would be like 5 o'clock kind of. But gorgeous movement, obviously, it's a Lange. Super cool piece, awesome history, awesome story, and just like visually stunning as well in the rose gold with the black. I think this is actually incoming on our site right now, so if you like this one, go ahead and take a look. I guess that brings me to my final watch, which you may have already seen chilling here in the front, but this is one of my all-time favorite Rolex. So let me get the correct reference number. So it's a 116598 SACO. This is the famed Leopard Daytona. So this was produced early 2000s. I think this one is, the papers are dated 07 on it. And like, come on, look at this thing. It's, you know, it's a standard yellow gold Daytona. You know, if you look at it from the back, you know, it doesn't look like all that much. But obviously, it's just cranked up to 11. So you've got all of these cognac-colored baguette sapphires on the bezel. I think there's like 35 or 36 of them there. The end links are obviously encrusted with diamonds. And then you've got leopard print dial. You've got diamond indices and this crazy leopard print strap as well. This thing is so awesome. When it came in, I immediately took a photo and texted my wife and said that I was thinking it was time to liquidate my collection for this bad boy. She shot it down immediately, but I don't care. I still absolutely love this watch. Nick Cage and Steven Tyler from Aerosmith were proud owners of these, and you can see why it fit those two interesting characters. I mean, when it comes to crazy watches, when it comes to like gem set Rolex, come on, like this is awesome. I would wear this all the time. T-shirt, suit, I don't even care. I think it's absolutely awesome. It's fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's off menu too. This was never just a regular production piece that was in the Rolex catalog. So super special. You don't see a ton of them out there, but keep an eye on our website because this will be hitting soon. So those are my 5. There were tons of other good things that came in this week that obviously I didn't have time for, but you know, go ahead, hop on the incoming page on our website, check it out, see what we got there, and shoot us a message if any of these 5 or anything else on our website catches your eye. So thank you again for joining for another Take 5. Happy Friday, and have a great weekend. See you later.